Hi, I'm May, and I've been kind of burnt out recently. I started art school recently, and it's been fun, but running back and forth to do work has definitely had me preferring sleep over personal projects. And so, on my one of many trips to zone out and look at my stuff, I realized I really love Kuropi the frog, the Sanrio character, and it just gave me the biggest idea. What's a better way to get me out of this art block than to just draw what I like? This led me to challenge myself to spending at least 40 minutes drawing gajinkas of every different Sanrio character that I really liked. Now, did I end up spending only 40 minutes on each one? No, I actually spent probably a lot longer than I wanted to. But by putting this initial limitation, I was able to stop, move on to the next one, and worry less about the small things that were bothering me and more on just getting it out there. And then when I was ready, I came back and I cleaned it up how I wanted to. I first started with My Melody and Kuromi, mostly because if anyone's watched the new series with them on Netflix, it's so cute. I binged it all in a day, and their dynamics are honestly not what I was expecting. Like, I always knew Kuromi was mischievous, but they also showed her being very caring. Like, she's very aware of her actions in the show. And despite her own, fears that she goes through, she still follows My Melody to make things right, because that's her bestie. It's just fun to see characters like that have their normal personalities, but add still a layer of depth between them. I think My Melody is also very silly because she's kind of a little airheaded. Am I the only one who thinks that? She's cute, and she's also really friendly, and she just wants to bake because that's what she loves, and that's what she's always loved, and it makes her and her friends happy. But I feel like there's so many moments where she kind of just zones out and doesn't know what to do, which makes the bond between her and Kuromi stronger. Which I also like, but I just kind of find her character a little funny. She's kind of a silly character, and I like that about her. Especially when she zones out, because it kind of feels like every time she zones out, it's for a purpose. She's thinking of something that is going to go and help later on, but it's not something that happens right away. It's always something that happens maybe in 2 episodes from now where it becomes important, but in the moment it's just kind of a little weird. Not to say that she doesn't have depth as a character. I just think that Kuromi, because she harbors the guilt, My Melody reflects that. Or My Melody harbors her guilt, and because of that, it impacts Kuromi to feel her guilt more. And I just love the way that they kind of bounce off each other on their own emotions and feelings. They allow each other to feel and express themselves. When I was doing this first drawing, I ended up not really liking it at all, mostly because it wasn't connecting to me, and also probably because it was the first drawing of the day, but I could not connect to it at all. I ended up coming back to it and just doing a second version with similar designs to the first, just so I had an idea of what I had before and taking the parts that I liked and just implementing it more. I gave My Melody a darker skin tone than I did in the original drafts because I really like the look of darker skin tones on pastels, and it's always so pretty, and it just matches. I just think it just matches more, and it makes her character design stand out. And I kept Kuromi mostly the same from the original draft, but I did end up getting rid of the collar that she had on her neck that had these kind of gesture details, and I wish I kept it, but I had completely forgotten about it at this point. So maybe in another one we'll bring her back. I also gave their hair curls in the same fashion as their headpieces on the originals. I just really wanted to draw hair, so just doing it really got it all out my system, and drawing all those curls to make it kind of look like ears, it's so cute. I gave My Melody frills, and then I gave each character their respective avatar. Overall, I feel better about this one than I did in the original, but I definitely want to play with these designs more because I feel like I can push it to be a lot stronger than the design I had today. Now, Hello Kitty was a big part of my childhood. Everywhere I went, I saw Hello Kitty, and she was and still is an icon for me, so I decided to draw her in 2 ways. The way I saw her as a kid, and how I see her now. When I was little, I saw Hello Kitty as kind of like an it girl. She was always in red sparkles and glamour, and every accessory that I had with her, she was just always glowing. So I wanted to draw her the way that felt to me, with the way Hello Kitty is on the right. So I gave her gloves. It almost gave her a Hollywood feel, almost like Marilyn Monroe. And as I've gotten older, I feel like now I see Hello Kitty more like the actual story. She's a kid from London with sisters, and I feel like the way that she's portrayed now, especially in media, definitely showcases that more, like very childlike and a lot more playful. She ended up looking kind of a bit like Snow White, but I'm not really mad about it. Lastly, I'm drawing my favorite current character from Sanrio, Keropi, or Kero Kero Keropi. That's also his name based on how frogs sound in Japan, and I think it's really cute and kind of funny. This is my favorite character of all time, and honestly, I don't really know how that happened because I'm not a big fan of the color green, let alone like a bright green like Keropi is. I think for me, it's one of those characters that you think is so ugly, it's kind of cute. Me and my family would call him Sapofeo, which literally translates to ugly frog, and it's been stuck in my head ever since. I love this character so much, and I always get so excited when I see him in pop-ups or there's like a charm of him somewhere because surprisingly, as popular as he is and as much as I see him everywhere online, it's actually pretty hard to find merchandise of him if you don't really know where to look. I gave him these glasses because I think they're so funny and silly, and I just always love characters that have those fun accessories, and he's done. Overall, this was so much fun. Being able to just word vomit drawings and not care about how they turn out is something that I didn't know I needed to try, and I ended up being very happy with the results. What would your Kajinkas look like? And do you want to see more? Let me know.